Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I would first like to say thank you. I appreciate all the love and support you guys have shown me on the last couple of videos, which have been popping off a little bit, so I appreciate that very much. And then another thing for this video, I just want to say this video will probably be a lengthy one, and if you've noticed, I don't really put much editing into the video itself. It's kind of just me talking, so this video will be that, and it will be split into two parts. Today we are going to be talking about the light novel, my thoughts on the light novel, on the second light novel of Arifureta. And also I just want to say that I'm not going to go over volume 1 because volume 1 in itself was pretty well adapted throughout the first 5 episodes that was done in the anime itself. Like I said, I'm gonna split part 1 is gonna be me talking about the light novel, gonna go on like a timeline of the things that happened, and then on the second part I will be discussing the anime in itself, and pretty much what got skipped, which was pretty much all of volume 2 was skipped. So yeah, that's gonna be how I'm gonna go with this. It's gonna be unscripted like always. So without further ado, find something to do in the background while you hear me talk about volume 2. So, and without further ado, let's get started. All right. To start off, in volume 2, we start off with Hajime. They and Yue, they are able to exit out of the Orchis Labyrinth, so they're heading out, and I think they're in the Rising Gorge if I remember correctly. So from there, they meet Shia, which is a rabbit girl from the Beastman race, pretty much. So she's begging for their help, and they don't want to help her, but then he feels bad, so they go help her, and we get introduced to the Rabbit Clan, the Rabbitman clan, and we find out that they're some of the weakest Beastman race. So that happens, and then I guess Hajime contracts them, tries to figure out, because he's trying to go to the next labyrinth, which is in the forest. But the Rabbitmen are the people that are gonna guide him, so he protects him pretty much. But after that, as they're heading to the labyrinth while they're being guided, they meet up with another group of race, which is probably the strongest, and this is where we get our first like world building section, as we get introduced to these elders from the forest that are other beastmen, and they're kind of ones that decide what goes on around there and everything else. It's cool though, because in this section we get a lot of action. For the most part, the Rabbitmen, they train, they get stronger, and they're able to pretty much put these other beast folk in their place, because they're usually seen as the weakest, because they technically are the weakest race, the Rabbitmen. But with Hajime helping them, they are able to become pretty much assassins and stuff. So that happens. We see a lot of Hajime action in this scene, just with him just pretty much showing that he's stupidly overpowered. So there's that. It's always cool to see that. I always love to see that. Always love to see that. So there was fights, kind of one-sided fights there, and after that we're able to know that they get permission to pretty much go to the big labyrinth, because they figure out where the entrance is. But once they get there, they realize that they need to beat the other labyrinths before they get to that, because they need to get these like badges, these sigils that are gonna be placed to open the door. So that happens there. So then from there we head on out, and we get to our first town. But a lot of shenanigans happen here. They, like I said, I will talk about it also in the anime, because a lot of this stuff that I'm gonna be discussing on this section, like I said, is skipped pretty much over, and it's completely changed in the anime itself. So like I said, after figuring out what's going on in the forest, with the next labyrinth, they decided they're gonna go to the Rising Gorge labyrinth. But first they go to a town. They end up meeting the receptionist. The receptionist shows them a map, a guide of the town, and they're able to go to an inn. And this is where like we meet a couple other characters, and we just get shenanigans with Yue and Shea and Hajime, and we pretty much find out that the receptionist from the inn, not from the guild, she's like pretty perverted, and throughout like this, she's kind of the first gag character that we get really introduced to, because throughout like this whole chapter, anytime that they're in the inn, she's kind of, well, I mean, she's just trying to like peek on them and see what goes on, because I think she's like 15 or 16 if I remember correctly. But yeah, she's just like trying to peek in on them and stuff. So it's kind of funny, because every time she's in there, she gets like reading time, book time, she's just shown as a big pervert, and it's throughout every time that they're together. But I guess I will just say this, that this is shown, but this is shown towards the end of episode 6. I'll talk about it a little bit more after. So we get there, and also before, like, so they get to the inn, all that stuff happens, and then from there they go back to town. And this is another part that really got skipped out as well. But they go back to town. The girls, Hajime stays in the inn where he is working on Shia's weapon that is gonna be introduced, which, you know, in the anime she just kind of pops out with it. So there's that bit. In the book, Hajime stays in during the day. He stays in while Yue and Shia go shopping. That's where Shia also gets a new clothes set, and just like a whole bunch of stuff with between Shia and Yue as they're like exploring the town and stuff, with like people trying to like take them and get into them, but you know they're just stupidly overpowered. So we just see their power being shown off and stuff, and it just becomes funny because Yue just pretty much crushes one guy's balls and then pretty much scares everyone, and then we get like those people that want to be stepped on by Yue, which, you know, I don't blame them, to be honest. I don't blame them, but you know, we didn't get the scene, which would have been nice to have in the anime, if I'm being honest. So you know that happens, and then they go back to town. They go back to the inn, and Hajime gives you Shea her weapon. So that happens, and from there they head on out to the labyrinth of the Rising Gorge. So we get all that. That was pretty much, that was decently covered in the anime itself. But you know, there's just all the exploring, because it's a trickster. This labyrinth, Maverick is a trickster and stuff. So they spend a lot of time. I think they spent, if I remember in the book, I think they spent almost like a week and a half trying to solve that freaking labyrinth. But they're able to solve it. They get gravity magic towards the end. It's pretty cool. Um, it's funny. There's a lot of scenes with Shea just kind of in the start. You know, she's the only one that's getting like super pissed. Like this Maverick, this chick, she's getting into Shea's head, and she's fed up pretty much. But she's strong. She's strong. So we get a lot of scenes with her being able to just handle and sustain herself throughout the labyrinth. So that happens. After that, the oh, okay, there we go. There, I almost forgot. But yeah, so they finish the labyrinth, they complete it, and then they get flushed out. As you know, they just get spit out of the labyrinth because they completed it. And this is another part that the anime skip. But once they get spit out, they encounter the travelers, and they encounter a couple of travelers, and this group of travelers ends up being a party of the inn's receptionist, the perverted girl, and I think there was another guy, which I don't remember getting information on him, if I remember correctly. But the other one is I forgot her name. Starts, I think it's Christabel, and she's the shop worker, might be owner too. From earlier in the story when Shea and Yui went into town, they went. That's where Shea got her clothes and stuff. But yeah, so apparently she's like a guy monster that likes to cross dress. It's weird. There's no images of her, but that's who we're introduced to, and I probably should have said that earlier. But that it's this party and stuff, and it's just a few more like perverted just shenanigans and stuff, because they're they're just together and stuff. But yeah, they meet up with them because they get split out in the same lake where they're kind of resting. So they rest up for the night, and then from there in the morning they hitch back a ride to town, and just a few more shenanigans happen because apparently now everyone knows, kind of, you know, they've made names for this trio, and you know there's different fandoms now. I guess that's if you could say that, because now there's people that want to get stepped on by Yue. Now there's people that are scared of Hajime. There's people that want to be Shea's slaves. Like it's so fucking weird too at the same time. Like what the fuck is going on? But that happens. So after that happens, they go back, they talk to the receptionist, they get a couple lines and stuff, and from here in the book, after that, they start heading towards the next village. Well, not really, because I believe they get a letter from I guess like the guild adventure master, and they are told, you know, it's like, if you're heading this way, we have a caravan, that's going, and at first Hajime rejects it, but then he's like, we're I think Yui tells them, we're not in a hurry, we can do it. So they end up hurrying, so now they're traveling, and all that happened in the anime, and not in the anime, in volume 2 of Arifureta. So that was just kind of my precise storytelling of what happens. There's a lot of character development throughout this story, which is kind of nice, especially with like the rabbit tribe, and especially between Yui, Shea, and Hajime, because Shea at first really doesn't like her, and Hajime either. They both call her worthless, useless. They just put her down the whole time. But Shea's just fucking resilient, bro, because she has these visions, and she knows that she needs them as much as they're probably gonna need her. So it's really nice to see these interactions, because at the start of the book, they really just find her stupidly worthless, and they just talk her down, like I said. But towards the rabbit, during like the rabbit and training arc, pretty much, and then throughout the labyrinth and everything, they warm up to her and they accept her a lot more, which is really nice. Really, really nice. I appreciate that. I love that. I love that, because Yui also opens up a lot of feeling kind of lonely as well, because like I said, she, like, if you remember from the first couple episodes and just the first light novel, she was locked in for a long time. So she's been lonely, so it's nice to have a friend. So that was volume 2, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I really appreciated all that world building that we got, especially earlier with the Beastman elders and everything. That was really nice, and just all these characters that got introduced as well, which kind of a bummer that we didn't really get much of them. But yeah, that was volume 2. Loved it. So yeah, we'll get back now. We'll get into the anime. All right. So now, when it comes to the anime covered volume 2 in 2 episodes, which is horrendous. If you know anything about light novel adaptations, you would understand that just how bad adapting a novel like the size of the books are. They're like 400 pages, and that's because they include a couple bonus stories. But fitting all of volume 2 into 2 episodes was not ideal, just because it felt so rushed and they skipped through so much. Like I was talking about earlier, in the anime, they skip over the elder encounters with other beastmen tribes, so they completely skip that. They just find the rabbit tribe, and from there they're kind of just they have like a little slideshow in the anime where they just kind of have their training arc and stuff, and then they just get led to the great orchestra, not orchestra, to the forest tree labyrinth. So it's kind of dumb that they skipped over that, because that was such a good scene, and I really would have loved to see that animated. So they skip over that, and then they leave. They head back to town. They get to town, and they're talk to the guild receptionist, and she kind of already has everything and stuff. So from there, they just freaking jump into the next labyrinth, and we just never get to see any of those other interactions, like the town interaction, the first stay. But in the anime, when they stayed at the inn, that happens after the labyrinth. In the book, it happens before the labyrinth. So it was kind of dumb that they switched that, because we still get the inn scene where Shea admits that she's gonna give her virginity to Hajime and stuff. She does that out loud in the inn, and everyone just kind of stares quiet and stuff, and just all that stuff incurs. But they skipped over that, and they put it at the end after beating the labyrinth, which I kind of found really stupid, because like when I say that, they also skipped meeting the other caravan, not a caravan, the other adventure party that was camping at the lake where they got spit out. So they skipped over that, which it would have been a nice kind of scene. And if they really fleshed it out instead of 2 episodes, I feel like they could have done it in possibly 3 full episodes, and I think that would have been fine. So I feel like 3 episodes feels a little bit rushed, but they could have definitely had a better pacing on that, because in the anime, those 2 episodes are done, and then 6 and 7, it's pretty much it, volume 2. Because then volume 8, we are in not volume 8, in episode 8, we get introduced. They have the reunion, which as of right now, I am in volume 2, we get nothing. At the end of volume 2, we get introduced to the teacher. Now we get introduced a little bit introduction of the students from Hajime's party, and we find out that a lot of them are traumatized, which I probably should have talked about in the book section as well. But yeah, we get introduction to the teacher and a couple of the students, and what's going on with them, and then volume 3, which I will talk a little bit about now. So far in volume 3, we still haven't met. We still haven't had the interaction that happens in episode 8, which happens pretty damn early. So it kind of sucks. But aside from that, I think adaptation was kind of shit. Volume 1, season 1 was pretty shit. Like I said, I was going to talk about volume 1 just because I think volume 1 is probably the best adapted so far. Just because they take 5 episodes to cover one volume on that. And I feel like that was pretty. I still feel like they could have adapted more because if I remember from a year ago when I read volume 1, they what am I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think they talked about more like before the summoning and everything happened. I think they talked a little bit more about that in the book. But in the anime, they just kind of show up in the other world already. We don't really get any information on that. But 5 episodes was decently covered. Volume 1. It's just volume 2 was completely shittily covered in 2 episodes. So that's my only gripe with it. Volume 3, so far I haven't read it. So far they haven't met with his old classmates. So I'm really looking forward to that. I know this video is probably something like shit, but like I said, I was gonna be a little long. So without any other, that's just my thoughts on this series. So far, volume 2, I still love it. It's such a guilty pleasure, and I appreciate that just because, man, I watched season 1 back when it was like airing, and I loved it so much. And then I think after that ended, I think I read somewhere online from people that were reading the novel that it was shittily paced. It was so rushed, and I think if I remember, someone said that season 1 covered like 5 or 6 volumes, which at this pacing I could believe that, just because from episode 8 there's still nothing that I have read in volume 3 for the most part. So we'll see where that goes. I will get volume 3 out as soon as I finish reading volume 3, but I'll do the same format for that and this. But without further ado, thank you, appreciate it. I'm gonna try to keep this video definitely a little bit shorter now and just finish it up. But thank you so much, and if you're ready to, and and you made it to the end, appreciate give me a like, subscribe, and give me other series. Let me know other series that you might be interested, because I more than likely might have done it. But yeah, volume 3 review, rants, thoughts will probably come out in a couple weeks, depending how fast I read. If I've been really into it, so I might, and I have a couple days off, so I might just get it out soon, maybe in like 2 weeks. But it's still gonna be a couple weeks, just because I just gotta read it at my own pace to fully enjoy it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will definitely catch you on the next one. Peace out. Bye.